Rod Fleming here, and how are you all? There has been some very interesting news coming out of the United States Supreme Court, that is the Supreme Court of the United States, SCOTUS, today regarding the famous 1973 judgment of the same court in the case of Roe versus Wade. In that particular judgment, the court held that abortion essentially had to be permitted. It was a woman's right to choose this. It does look, according to leaked papers, and we can't be sure of this yet, it does look like the court is ready now to overturn that judgment, to repeal it completely and get rid of it. And of course, this is a moment of great celebration because since that first decision, 63.5 million people, 63.5 million people have been murdered in the United States alone. That's how many. That is 3 times what Adolf Hitler managed. It's an appalling stain on the United States. And anybody who thinks they can look to the United States for moral guidance, as long as they have that law in place, is a fool. Can't morally suggest, you cannot suggest to others that they follow your morality when you're murdering 1 million people every year. You can't do that. Now, what we have to understand when we're looking at this is that the argument really isn't so much about abortion, funnily enough, although that does seem strange. The argument is about the extent of the Supreme Court's rights to make decisions for the states. And many people, including many senior justices, have said for many, many years that in Roe versus Wade, the Supreme Court actually overstepped its own powers. It did something which it didn't actually have the constitutional right to do. It did not have the constitutional right to force the states to follow the judgment in this particular case. And if Roe versus Wade is overthrown, that does not mean that abortion will be universally banned in the United States. What will happen is it will go back to each legislature. Each state will be free to decide for itself whether it's going to permit this toll of murders or whether it's going to say, no, that's it. If you want an abortion, go somewhere else. And they may well, in fact, enact laws, and it wouldn't be unlikely even, that would prevent people from leaving a particular state in order to carry out an abortion. You know, because basically what you're saying is that baby is actually, for example, is a Louisianan baby. You can't just go to some abortion-favourable state to kill it. We have to protect that baby. It's a Louisianan baby. Therefore, you will not be permitted to leave and go and kill it. So these things do have ramifications. But from the point of view of someone who is implacably opposed to the wholesale murder of the most innocent people in society, which is what abortion is, then it has to be seen as a step forward. It has to be seen as positive. That at last the Supreme Court has at least considered the fact that it might have got it wrong, which it clearly did. There's nothing constitutional about the previous judgment at all. It was criticised at the time as being a step too far, but politically it was impossible to shift it. It may still be very difficult, but it does appear that the Supreme Court has now got the strength and the will to turn around and say, okay, we got it wrong all these years ago, we're just going to put it back to the states. They're not going to ban abortion. The Supreme Court has neither the power to ban abortion nor to grant abortion. That's the point. That's the legal argument. But the trouble is that the abortionists are afraid that all of the states which are really against abortion will just say, well, you can't have abortions here. And that's not what they want. They want abortions to be universally available. They want it to be possible to kill babies everywhere in the United States. And of course, I think that's appalling. I mean, Britain is even worse. Britain actually made abortion legal years before, I think 5 years, 6 years before the United States did, and many other countries have followed suit. It's absolutely appalling. It's the wholesale murder, the genocide of entire generations of human beings, just because some woman, I think I'll just have an abortion, or you could have kept your legs shut. Anybody that you talk to serious about this will tell you the numbers that are caused because of rape are minuscule. They're tiny. Rape is not common. It's very, very rare. Most abortions are to normal, healthy women who are murdering normal, healthy babies, which should be brought to term, given into the world, and if the women don't want to know at that point, that's fine. They can put them up for adoption. There's plenty of people who would take them on. But anyway, this leaked document, and it is a leak, but it has now been covered by a number of authoritative sources, does suggest that the Supreme Court is on the point of overturning Roe versus Wade. And of course, as you can imagine, the lunatic left is going insane. They've had so many things go wrong for them in the last couple of months. You know, it's been awful for them. The poor little darlings. I mean, they lost Twitter. There are rumours that they may well lose Snapchat. They may well lose other of the festering septic tanks that they have used to pervert society over the years. And now it's possible that this flagship ruling that they had managed to secure in 1973 might be history. That's absolutely wonderful. I think that's great. I couldn't be more happy. You know, seeing liberal tears, they're not liberals. That's the thing. These people aren't liberals, they're communists. Communists aren't liberals. Liberals don't behave like that. These are commies who want to be able to murder people with no consequence, just like commies always do. And if if the Supreme Court is going to stand up and show a little bit of spine here, not act like a bunch of mollusks, and give it a good shafting to them, then I'm all for it. Great, that's fantastic. Let's get started in Britain. Let's get it off the statute books in Britain too. Let's get it off the statute books in Ireland. Let's get it off the statute books in Italy and everywhere else. Let's get rid of this absolute abomination, this affront to humanity. No country that permits abortion can possibly claim to be a moral country. You can't do it. It's murder of the most innocent in society. Thank you. That was Rod Fleming.